February 4th, we have Venus entering into Aries, benefic. We also have Jupiter going direct, a benefic. This is it's a blessing that's initiating for all of us, where the astral body finally steps into the new story. This is where the astral body finally steps into the new story. Of course, she had to get baptized first through Pisces, passing over Neptune. She's been purified. She's been purged. Understand? She's been undressed. So now, Venus, or copper, was melted in the ladle of Neptune. Now, the liquid copper has to be cast into the most authentic form to represent you and what you value, second house Venus, and what you desire to relate to, seventh house Venus. Now the copper has to fit a mold that's appropriate to the theme of this current timeline. This is where it begins. With Venus beginning in Aries, starting the story over again, initiating your astral presence in the new timeline to where your senses now get involved. Your joy, your happiness, your pleasure, sensitivity, the things that you want to experience of your five senses, who you want to connect to, the things that you value, seeing it around you, seeing it as attainable, and making sense of it as to how it should look in your timeline. Now this starts an initiation. This is an initiation of those things unfolding and being fulfilled for you through Venus. Venus is in a house of its polarity, Aries, which Mars is the opposite of Venus, iron, warfare, creativity, masculine. And what she is bringing her forces to is your first house and what that means, and to your Aries and what that means. She's bringing her forces to your personality, your sense of yourself, your ideal of yourself, according to what your first house expresses most authentically. What good is it if we don't connect to it in our senses? You are this person, but you want to feel what it's like to be that person. And in a positive way, in a pleasurable way, in a way that's agreeable, not disagreeable. And that's what Venus is bringing finally. Being comfortable in your own skin as the person you are in your spacesuit, the first house, the biochemical form that you, the soul, is housed in, feeling comfortable in that suit, tailor-making that suit. Understand? This is like Venus going to Dapper Dan. Okay? Going to Dapper Dan of Harlem. If you don't know, look it up. You can't live this life without knowing who Dapper Dan is. Understand? That bananas who gave style to hip hop. That bananas who dressed all the drug dealers. Understand? Now, Venus is basically saying, it's nice that you're that person, but don't you want some swag? It's nice that you're that person, but don't you want it to feel good to be that person? It's nice that this is who you are, but what good is it if it's not pleasurable to you to be who you are? What about your connections? Do you need to connect to and relate to others who appreciate and celebrate who you are, who recognize who you are, who cherish who you are, who have a natural connection and inclination to enjoy the presence or to benefit from the presence of who you are in a way that's reciprocating? Well, she's there to ask all those questions. And I want you to think of it this way. She's bringing what any young woman would bring into your life. Aries is a young man's algorithm. It's a young man's algorithm. The same way that Capricorn is an elder man's algorithm, okay? Aries is a young man's algorithm. And this young man is using his strength to fight for his destiny, to obtain it, to structure it, to create it, to initiate whatever it takes to see it a reality. And here comes this young female energy, okay? And when females come into your life, there's something that females look for. It's the same as Venus, okay? Let's pay attention. Females are always looking for certain things, okay? We as men, the masculine, which I'm relating to Aries, and this relates to you, men and women who are listening, okay? Because I'm referring to Aries algorithm, the divine masculine in you, okay? So with Venus coming into Aries, she's coming into this part of you that's like a young man, full of testosterone, okay? He's rigid, he's disagreeable, he's aggressive, he is impulsive, and he feels in command in his life. However, females notice things that probably don't even come on our radar. So she comes to your apartment or she comes to your house and she notices, your furniture doesn't even match. You have this dinner set, but with the things that you eat or the way that you like to cook or whatever, you need the right type of dishes to do that comfortably. She's looking at things like, the aesthetics of the environment. Your walls are just a bland white and there's no pictures on it, but you're content, with your video game set, your weights in the corner, and your bed's in the corner, your dressing is, men live very frugal. Men live very simple, when it's just us. We're very simple creatures. But females come along and they awaken what's in your desire and connect you to your desires that you were not aware of. So they bring things into your life that answers to your senses, that answers to your sense of comfort and your sense of desire. She makes it noticeable. She draws your attention to it. She connects you to it. And what ends up happening is you find yourself in more comfort, in sharper expression, surrounded by beauty, even possibly. You were fine with wearing, the same pair of jeans and a white t-shirt. She comes along and she suggests, maybe you should wear this, maybe you should wear that. Now all of a sudden you have a whole wardrobe, and it's not about, you being in poverty or anything like that. But men, when we are masculine, okay, we don't care about that stuff. You are spending money on tools, Power tools or, cars, things like, yeah, we're interested all day. Guns, okay, yeah, cool. But the things that brings and adds more comfort to the life are not things that men tend to concentrate on so much. Okay. One room is enough for a man. For women, they need 5 rooms, even though they're not going to sleep in all 5. You understand? For men, I just need protein. Yeah, as long as it's not pork, yeah, whatever. I don't care. Order something. But for a female, it has to be very specific and particular. Even after she orders it, she's probably not even going to want it. So Venus is there to interrupt your fixation or what you're trying to create in opposition to the distractions of Chiron pains. Chiron pains is there and you're trying to create, you're trying to exist as the person that you recognize you're supposed to be. And it's been a fight, it's been a struggle. And Venus is there to say, you know, you could afford more comfort than this, more ease, more pleasure, more joy. And you might find that once you add this to your life, you'll be more efficient. Because now your astral body is involved with how you create. There's joy in it. There's happiness in it. And that's what Venus wants to bring. She's the girlfriend that comes over and she sees how hard and tough and, masculine and militant you are and all this other stuff, right? And she loves you for that. That's why she likes you. But she has a way of inserting sweetness into your life to where there's increased efficiency because there's increased pleasure and joy in what you're doing to sustain your life, what you're doing to create the story of your life. Okay, so she's adding oil to the joints. She's adding honey to the medicine. She's bringing, incense and oil, and you understand all these things. You just got a bottle of water and some leftover spaghetti in the refrigerator. Okay, you bachelor. Okay, Aries is like you're being bachelor. And she comes over and she, hey, you know what? Let me make a grocery list and help you out real quick. You know what I mean? Again, it's not about affording things, but it's about the difference of what preoccupies the mind of a man and what preoccupies the mind of divine feminine. You see? So what preoccupies the mind of divine feminine is now coming to serve divine masculine. Is what I'm explaining here, okay? So divine feminine is going to come to serve divine masculine and bringing things into the picture, bringing things into your fight, into your war, into your combat stage, into your struggle, what makes your struggle pleasurable. Understand? Now, this is a perfect balance because, first of all, Chiron is still in Aries, okay? And every time we take a step at that Aries, our ankle hurts. You understand? Our joints hurt. Yeah. The wound, it still hurts. It's healed, but if you press on it enough, it still hurts. That's pain, insecurity, sense of inadequacy at the identity, okay? That's still there. But as Chiron is expressing those things, which is really giving depth to our wisdom and our resilience, Venus is here now to say, you know what? You've suffered enough. You've suffered enough. When you're here like this tough, badass soldier, oh, I don't need this, I don't need that, I'm good. I got this, I'll put it on my back, acting quite masochistic, okay? And Venus is there, okay, yeah, you're the tough guy, whatever, but I know you'll like this. Yeah, I get that. You all gangstered up and all this other stuff, but here, I know you need this. She comes to bring mercy into your life. And obviously, this is going to be through 2nd house and 7th house themes. Taurus and Libra themes. So if you look at Taurus and Libra, you're going to be more assertive about what you experience there. You're going to be more assertive about making those experiences more pleasurable for yourself. You're going to assert yourself into positive engagement at second house and seventh house. You're going to assert yourself, Aries, at positive engagement at Taurus and Libra. So those are the places in your natal birth chart that you want to look at and verify to be sure of what's coming up for you and where you're going to be blessed with the artful, divine feminine benevolence of Venus to add efficiency and lightness to your efforts at Taurus and Libra placement. To add efficiency and lightness, relatability, okay? Relatability, harmony, greater value to your Taurus and Libra placement. Also to your second house and your seventh house. This is what Venus is bringing. Aries is where your Aries placement in your natal chart, this is where you are the relentless warrior. You are relentless here. You just don't get tired. You can't get tired because Ogun does not get tired. You are restless in this area, in this place of your life to produce results. You are always at it at this place of your life to get results. Chiron obviously has been here and still has a way to go out of the last decan of Aries. And we have been working through pain in the identity. We have been working through insecurities in the identity. We have been working through confusion, doubt, insecurities in the identity, Aries, okay, which also incorporates the first house. This is the first time in the new timeline, where our astral body catches up to the story that's just beginning. The astral body is now catching up, divine feminine. The importance of divine feminine, Venus specifically, I'll take you to Ifa Yoruba African spiritual tradition, where Olodumare, or God, the One, the Most High, he sent the Orishas to the earth, which there are 401 Orishas. Oshun, or Venus, is the 401st. So they all were sent to the earth to establish the earth. And they had trouble establishing the earth because every time Oshun would ask for her, would give her input or to assist the situation, they would just block her out. Hey, yeah, go sit down, go play, yeah, whatever. We don't want to hear what you got to say. And they ignored her and nothing prospered. And they kept taking turns over and over again and nothing would ever prosper because they didn't include Oshun. They didn't include Venus. Now, they went back to the heavens to consult Olodumare to report the fact that they all have been failing. Every Orisha. And Olodumare asked them the question. He said, where is your sister? Where is Oshun? And they said, oh yeah, she's over there, whatever. But anyway, and they just brush it off. So Olodumare simply said, this time take Oshun back with you, but listen to her. You understand? So they took Oshun with them and they listened to her and everything worked. Everything worked. And the difference here is that Oshun represents fresh waters, rivers, okay? Fresh waters, rivers. Who can be an enemy to water? Who can be an enemy to water? What can you do and accomplish without water? Not just any water, but rivers. This is different than the ocean because rivers represents water that is palatable, drinkable. It's fresh water that is not salty or brackish, okay? And it represents the veins, the venules, the arteries that reaches the source in order to convenience local communities, local circumstances, to assist technology. That's why Venus is to assist Mars. It assists Mars because water assists technology. What can technology do without water? No technology can do anything without water. Water is everything to a community. It is essential. And so what this points at is pleasure is essential. Sweetness is essential. Joy is essential. Happiness is essential. Being able to enjoy what you do is essential. It is essential to success, because success did not happen until Oshun was included. It did not happen until Oshun was included. Once you add Venus or Oshun to the situation, now we can have success. This is not the same as what we're coming out of course, with the shadow of Venus, South Node Libra. Okay, I know you guys do not want me talking about that because I talk about it every time and I can't emphasize it enough. But that's the shadow of Venus. Okay, that's the shadow of divine feminine, the liberal aspect of Venus in shadow. Okay, now I'm talking about the illuminated or positive aspects of divine feminine. We cannot do without it. Nothing will work without divine feminine. Understand? Just as nothing will work without divine masculine. They both are essential. So this is bringing the secret ingredient into the picture. Now life is going to feel like life. It's going to feel like you're living. You're living without Venus, but Venus, the astral body, is what gives you the feeling of living. It makes you feel like you are living. What good is it to be here in the earth creating, manifesting your destiny, doing whatever else it is, but your astral body is just not connecting? It has no connections to people to relate to. Keyword relatability. There's no relatability, Libra. And there's nothing that you value, or you're not being valued, Taurus, second house. So what good is it? If you can't connect to value and relatability. Without these two things, value and relatability, life means absolutely nothing. It's like you're living in vain. Just take me out. I'll get off right here. That's the secret ingredient. It means nothing without Venus. Now, let's look at this parallel. What is this world without women? Yeah, you can't live with them, you can't live without them. But let's tell the truth. What is this world without women? If there were no women, you wouldn't hear a hammer, a saw, a truck. You wouldn't, the highways would be empty because nobody would have the incentive to get up and do anything. Women are the incentive of productivity. They're the incentive of production. They're the incentive of the movement of the life process that we get up in the morning to do every single day. It's because at the end of the day, it gives you greater access to a woman. This is why men work. It's the only reason men get up and work. Before they have the children, before they have a baby. Men get up and work because the point is that testosterone is telling you the only way I could have access to women is if I become valuable. And the only way for a man to become valuable is he must work. It's that simple. We only become as valuable as our work ethic, as a result of our works. And it's the only way to get a woman to look at you. It's the only way to get a woman to notice you. It's the only way to get a woman to marry you is you became valuable enough for her to consider that. To have a family. To leave your seeds here. To leave your legacy here. Without a woman, none of that is possible. You can't do any of that without the woman. The Taj Mahal was built in that spirit of for wanting the approval or attention of a woman. Understand? So this is a big deal that Venus is coming into Aries. You know, the teenagers are at the basketball court, they're playing ball, but now the pretty girl with the baby hair shows up. You know what I mean? The pretty girl with the baby hair shows up. All the girls now are coming to the basketball court. And you know what happens when girls come to the basketball court. Niggas start breaking their ankles. Niggas start showing out. You know what I mean? You was playing regular, but then when the girls came to the court, I mean, you really, you really a superstar now. You putting on because you know the ladies is looking. You know what I'm saying? Men become extra productive. They become experts. They become scientists. They become soul controllers, masters, and generals, 5-star generals when they know that a girl is looking at them. You know what I mean? So Venus coming to Aries, it's like you're going to work in a way as if a beautiful woman was looking at you. And she was, you know, you hoping that she will consider you based on what you're producing. You know what I mean? That it's going to give you that get up and go, that spunk, that swag, the pep in your step, that little diddy bop, no diddy. The diddy bop, no diddy. You understand? Pause. Pause. So, what's to be considered with this is that Jupiter is going direct at the same time that Venus steps in to Aries. So, with Jupiter going direct, this being a benefic, this starts blessings that come back in through reconsideration, through introspect, through reflection. That retrograde at Gemini was about clearing out the noise. Clearing out the noise of distractions, misinformation, and separating what is valuable information and what is not in the atmosphere, in the ether. Okay. And this has a lot to do with the South Node Libra that we already finished up. That South Node Libra was, do you know the difference between your heart and public opinion? What people approve of you, what your family or community wants you to do, what your friends want you to do, and what your heart says to do. Do you know the difference yet? Tuning out noise. Knowing what is simply distraction and what is valuable information. What is ethereal value that you could use, and what is ethereal material that's just simply in the way? Overkill. Too much noise. It's just distraction. It sounds good. It looks good. It's catchy. It gets attention, but it's just a distraction. So we were seeing the difference in all these things. This has a lot to do too with media. Clearing out the noise in media. Media is under a heavy microscope with the Trump administration, as Trump likes to call it, the fake news. Liberal media, it lies through its teeth. You get fake news. They're blowing smoke up your behind. They want to push certain narratives. Okay. And this was about arriving at that understanding, arriving at that exposure, being able to see it. Mercury is currently hosting the South Node through Virgo. When Mercury is at the South Node, it means we don't believe you. I believe my heart. I believe my intuition. I believe my instincts, but I don't believe you. That's what that says. It's to look in scrutiny. It's to look in disagreement, disagreeable outlook. It's to look in disagreeable analysis at messaging that we're getting, the messaging that we're receiving, especially through news and media, He say, she hearsay, you understand, uh, misinformation going around, what the crowd is saying, and especially learning how to tune out the crowd. Because two timelines are still having heavy activity. The timeline we just came out of, the timeline we just stepped in, the old world and the new world. The old world is full of people who make noise. The new world is full of people who found the message in the midst of the noise. Let me say that again. The old world is full of people who simply make noise. They're lost, they're distracted. They don't know what the hell is going on. They follow their desires. They follow their feelings. They're confused. They don't know up from down. They pass around misinformation, regurgitation. They're stuck in their astral body. They're in the crisis of South Node Libra. They're in the crisis of the Shadow 8, Pluto Capricorn. They're still stuck in those past line themes of what we just came out of. So karma has to make a classroom for them to learn their way out of that. Understand? So the new timeline consists of those who were able to catch the message that a lot of this is just noise. And a lot of y'all don't know what you're talking about. Oh, Trump is, Trump bad. And there's noise that's being listened to. But some people were able to catch the understanding, the insight, the truth, because they had the resilience to do so, the clarity to do so, the sincerity to do so. They chose to transform with the disillusionment. And that's who's in the new timeline. That's who's in the new world. And so Jupiter direct for the new world, it means receiving abundance, reward, blessings, opportunity, acceleration, expansion, protection too, grace, for clearing out, for giving yourself that clarity, for making that distinct separation of noise from ethereal value. And because you chose the ethereal value that was in the midst of the noise, you now get to benefit from that introspect, from that internal work that you did during that Mercury retrograde, getting your mind right. Gemini rules the third house, how you imply and how you infer. You corrected how you imply, you corrected how you infer. So now all the blessings are yours because you changed your mindset. You changed your mindset. So now all the blessings are yours because you changed your mindset. Jupiter Gemini was changed retrograde. Jupiter Gemini retrograde was changing your mindset. And with the new mindset, there's a new person. And Aries rules what? The head. Right? Okay. So Gemini, you have to consider also your third house, your community, who you are most influenced by and who you influence the most. Blessings, progress, forward motion is coming through there. Gemini, what house in your natal birth chart do you have Gemini? This house is where you are going to see expansiveness, blessings, good fortune. You're going to get a lot of goodness coming in at this place in your life, at this location of your life. Venus entering Aries in your natal birth chart. You want to verify where is Aries in your chart. This is the house where you are going to be very assertive about making your relationships and the things that you value a more pleasurable experience. Also initiating. Aries is to initiating more relationship opportunities, initiating more opportunities to relate greater with other people in a more authentic way, and also initiating more sources of income, as well as more efficiency in how you make income. You understand? So these are things that you can look forward to right now. The astral body is getting involved with the story, and now it's going to feel like you're living, not just existing. Now you get to feel as if you are actually living. Understand? Venus entering into Aries, it also subjects Venus to a level of authenticity in how she's expressing and delivering, which means that the astral body at this beginning of its cycle at Aries, it starts out serving the identity, serving the most authentic expression of the identity and not straying away from it. Your Mars placement, your first house, your Aries placement, these three places host key signatures of what is authentic for you. Behind that is the Sun, Leo, and fifth house. Sun, Leo, and fifth house is the expression behind the authentic form that you take. Okay? That's how the layer works, the Sun and Mars. So Venus is there this time to use her powers for strictly the Sun and Mars. For you, not for the noise in the air, which was rectified and clarified during the Gemini-Jupiter retrograde. Gemini-Jupiter retrograde helped us to discern the difference between what is noise and what is my purpose. What has to do with me and where I'm going and what I'm here to do. Understand? And so, with that being said, Venus will address the second house and the seventh house and align it with the first house, Aries, Mars, Leo, and fifth house. It will align it with all of these expressions in sync, in harmony, making sure that there's no inconsistencies in what's going on at the second house, what's going on at the seventh house, making sure that there's no straying away from the truth of self. Authenticity. As Venus is entering into Aries, what you're going to find is that you're going to be more assertive and aggressive about, as well as passionate about selling yourself. Selling yourself as someone who is value. Selling what you do have of value. Marketing your value. Also selling yourself as a good partner to others. And when this is done under the algorithm of Aries, it looks more of like, for example, the friend that you have where you go and you say, I really don't know a lot of people around here. I don't get along with the people around here. I don't trust anybody, yada, yada. And that Venus Aries says, yo, what are you talking about? I'm sitting right here. Like, fuck is you talking about? I mean, you doing all this crying about, oh, you don't got friends and all this stuff, but yo, I'm sitting right here. Come on, man, I got you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, chill out. So it's more of an aggressive, assertive way of promoting the self as an agency for harmony, an agency for efficiency, an agency for pleasure and peace, the person who advocates for what you deserve to enjoy. It's the girlfriend, who sits next to their friend and they say, girl, you deserve this and that. Girl, you deserve to be happy. Girl, you deserve to enjoy yourself. You know what I mean? That type of energy. And so likewise, when a female comes into the life of a man, you work very hard. You do this. You've been through a lot. You really deserve to be happy too. You deserve, you know what I'm saying? That type of thing going on. So this is the attitude that you will have with yourself will be a lot about what you feel like you deserve. Understand? So let's not get delusional with that, but at the same time, allow yourself to pursue what you feel or know you deserve according to what's most authentic of your story. Understand? Venus in Aries is also putting up a fight to be valued. It's putting up a fight to be valued. What gives a context to this is looking at your Aries placement in your natal chart. What house does this occupy? Understand? In that house, Venus is going to say, you should be valued for what you have going on here. You should be valued for what you have produced here, for who you have become here, for what you are capable of here. You should be valued. You should not be undersold. You should not be underestimated. You should not be taken lightly. You should not be taken advantage of. You should be valued here. So Venus is demanding that you see your value there and that you insist on fair negotiation and getting what an even or fair exchange in the value that you have there as well, advocating for yourself. Understand? Every person's natal chart will detail what this means for you. These are all general walkthroughs in these videos that I put up here. But without the reading, you don't know specifically how this is going to play out for you or what it means, because there's so many other factors to consider in the whole story. This is a major transit. This is not minor. This is major. Venus and Jupiter having direct motion as Venus is coming into Aries, Jupiter going direct. This is a major part of the story. So if you are not at that skill level where you're able to really understand your chart, don't underplay yourself, understand, or do yourself the disservice of just taking these videos and running with it. You know what I'm saying? You need to know specifically for you what that means, because every detail can mean so much more. Where the planet, what aspects are there, the degrees, what's being expressed, the context that it puts it in, your north and south node. It's just so much to be considered in how to explain what it means for you. You understand? So, with that being said, if you have questions, I'll be glad to answer if they are basic or general. Otherwise, you can schedule for reading.